So yeah, in the last class, what we had a discussion how we can send an email outbound inbound from the service now, and how it will be executed, how the data will be loaded into one. So today we will discuss about the glide record cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is nothing but, so what was the different type of methods which can be used for the in the service for the glide record. In the service now, what we will do is we will how can I say, in the service now what we will do is we will work on the if you want to call a table, what we will use glide record method. Glide record method which can be used to fetch a table or to call a table in the service now, that we call sometimes we will call it as a glide API also. So maybe we can think all thing now. The next step is what we will do is here what are the methods. So here the method is add active query. Add active query is nothing but it's a adds a filter to return active records, returns glide query condition, which means for example whenever if you use the glide record, whenever if you use the glide record, what happens, the table will come. In the table, for example, you want to filter a what are the incidents. For example, if you query incidents, so what are the incidents will be there. That means, so what are the incidents which are in pending state, or which are in progress, which are in on hold, which are in resolved, which are in a closed state. Like that, if you want any filter condition, at the time what we will do is we will do add active query. And the next step, uh, add enquired query. Add enquired query is also like a filters a record, but if you want to have one or more things, if you want to filter, we can raise the add active query. So that means whenever if you want to, for example, what are the incidents are closed in this week and created on last month, like two filters. If you want to add it, instead of writing I'm sorry, glide active query, which will be return the active records. Sorry, glide record. That's a glide for query function. So add and code query is the same as a uh, add query. So in the add query, only one filter we can give it, and what we can say in the encode query. What sorry, in the encode query we can write a query condition. So in that, if you pass it, that means two or more variables will be open for the same thing. And next one, add not null query. Add not null query is nothing but adds a filter where field values are not null. So that returns glide query condition. That means what are the values is not null. So in that fields, if you give a filters, if the field is exist or the field is not null, so it will return those query condition for this one. And add null query. Null query is nothing but where it will adds a filter to the incident. Sorry, in filter to the mm, one where all the where field name written. Hi, Bom. So we just I'm just saying the glide record cheat sheet. So that is a methods which we are using for the glide one. Okay. Here, add active query will returns the active records, and add encode query will returns a string query which we given from the other queries. And third one, add not null query adds a filter where field name values are not null. That means it will adds a filter. So field names are not null, and add null query will returns the where the field names values are null. So this is the two thing. So add not null is nothing but which will be used to filter sorry, add not null queries which filters where the field values are not null and returns glide query condition, whereas not null will be sorry, whereas null query will be filters the field name values are null. That's one. And next one, add query what happens, string field name and object value. Here we have already seen add query. So in that add query what we did is add query. In that add query what happened, we will write a what we called we will write a filter. For example, the state is in progress. If you want it, we can write the state and the values we can fill the one. So adds a filter where filter name is equal to the one. And add query, whenever if you use the add query, so it's also a one. And what happened, we have seen some set of query operators. Operators is nothing but equal to, less than, or greater than, something like those we will call it as a operators. So we will see here. So see, add condition, that means add condition is nothing, add say and condition to current the condition. That means if you already have some filter, if you have already have some filter in that one, if you want to add one more condition so that it will add the something, that means and condition, what are the and we are ready, it will automatically filter from this one. And add or condition, that means it's add an or condition. So and is nothing but if the state is in progress and create a last month. If you come to the and or condition, the state is in progress or created on last month. So at this time scenario, this we can use it. Next one, has access. That means what happened is sometimes, so sometimes what happened is so we want to check whether the user has the uh, access for the record or not. So if you see, can create is nothing but if user can create function method, so can the user will be create can has the access to create the record. Similarly, can delete is nothing but whether the user has the access to delete the record, where we can see for it. Or else when if you see third one, can read, that means whether the user has the access to delete, has access to read that record. That means he can see the record or something. And if you see, he can, what we can say, can write is nothing but whether he can modify the recorder, like ACLs how we can see it. Here also we can check it from the GlideRecord API. I hope till now clear or any confusion. I have few examples data, so I can give you the scripts, sample scripts later. Okay. So has access is used to check whether the user has the access for the tables or the thing. So here what we are doing, can create is used to check the create a record this table. And the next one, can write is used to sorry, can write is used to user to allow the user to edit or modify the record accessed in that one. Can read, it will check whether the user can read the record or not. Can delete, it will check whether the user has to action to delete the record. So this is the basic thing. And next one, delete method. Delete method is nothing but if you want to delete the record in the system, we can use it delete record. So delete multiples. Delete multiples is nothing but it will delete the multiple records at a time. For example, if you create 10 records, you want to delete 10 records at a time, we can use delete multiples. Or if you use delete the record, that means it will delete the existing record. So always the best practice, if you want to do any lot of things deletion, so use the delete multiple. So if you are to do delete a one record, you can always go for the delete the current record. So next one, get method. Get method is nothing but to fetch something, we will use the get method. See, get attribute. So get attribute is nothing but, and the field name, the syntax. So what happened, it will returns the dictionary attributes. That means what are the attributes which we are given for that particular field in the system, those it will, those it will show as a dictionary attribute for the same thing. And next one, get display value is nothing but what are the current value display. So for example, you can say something, get display value is nothing but, so if I open this record Satish, what is the reference field, yeah, see, whatever we are seeing this field, that means this is the name field, we will fetch that one, that is a display value. And that's the one. And next, if I open get attribute, attribute is nothing but if you return any attribute in the backend, so if you want to fetch it, we can use the get attribute of the same thing. And third one, get display value string. So that means if you give get display value and the field name, it will displace the value for the field. That means what is the value name, value in the backend display value, it will show it. And get element is nothing but it will returns the current, it will returns the glide element. Glide element is nothing but what is the backend value. If you want to know the what is the backend value of this one, we can use the glide element. We can use the same thing, the what, glide element. And next one, get encoded query. Get encoded query is nothing but it's like a add encoded query. It will return the current query condition as an encoded query. That means what are the we are existing query, it will returns the thing. Now next one, get record class name is nothing but it will fetch, it will record returns the current what is the name of the table. Next, get try count. Get try count is used to, so get try count returns the number of rows in that one. For example, if you want to count how many numbers in that one, we have to use the same thing. And next one, get table name. I'm sorry. Get table name. Get table name is used to returns the name of the table used to instantiate the record. So here, see, get record class name which is used to class name of the current record, and get table name returns the table is used to, that means what was the we are table which is used for the glide record, it will be shown here. And next one, get unique key value is nothing but it will returns the what was the primary value in that system, which means primary key is nothing but in the service now, as we discussed, everything will be stored in a table format. That record will be stored in a one particular location. That location we will call it as a sys underscore id. Sys underscore id is nothing but, so which is a unique one. So if you want to fetch like unique values of that one, we can use the same thing. Next one, get value. So if you want to get the current field value, sorry, returns the value for the field, we can use the get value. And next one, I'm sorry, 1 minute. Next one, record operators. Record is nothing but what are the you want to retrieves or something one. See, get string value to fetch the record by primary key value. We can use the get string value or get object name and object value if you give. So what happened, fetch the record where the field name equals to the value. That means field name backend value and the object value, if the value are same, it will fetch it. Get last error message is nothing but retrieves the last error message on the table, it will show the same thing. Has next, has next returns the returns true if record any more records in the glide record. That means gr.next has next is nothing but if you give the while loop, if you want to do multiple records too, it will go for the one. And next one, initialize. Initialize is nothing but it will create a glide record without any default values. That means whenever if you are creating a new record from a script, initialize will start the create empty record for the same thing. Next one is new record. Is new record method is used to check whether the record is inserted to the database or not. It's returns the true if current record is not that inserted that means if that is not inserted in database nothing but which is a new record but just we are not created. And insert, it will insert a new record here. See, new record, new record is nothing but it will create. So for example, I'm sorry, I was confused. So in the initialize, what happened, it will create a empty record. So in that empty record, what we will do is empty, it will create an empty one, empty glide record without any default values. After the values values added, we will use insert, so that it will insert a record into the database one. And is new record is used to returns true if current record is not been updated, had been inserted to the database. That means the existing value is not, existing value is not been inserted. That means it's not loaded to the system, that we can do the same thing. And is new record, it will create a new record and sets the default values for the one. For example, in the field, if you given any default values, it will be shown for the here. And next one, next is the very important when you looping a ServiceNow statement. So it will move to the next record from the order. For example, what happened in that filter? So from the add query, we will fit a lot of things. So what here, what we have done here is, so the glide record object. So if you have 10 records, if you want to one move the one by one, so we can use the next. If you give the if loop, it will only the one record will be do. Or if you want to do n number of iterations, we can use the while loop and next method, so that you will go for the next steps. And third one, next one is a query. Query is nothing but, so glide record, what you call a variable name dot query. If you given, what happened, it will completely query the current it will completely perform the query. That means what are the values in the above it was filtered, those all records will be query by the one. And next one, set limit. Set limit is used to, for example, in the query it was total 20 records it was there, but you want to do the only first only the 10 records. At the time we can use it set limit method. And next one, set value. Set value is used to set a value for the system. This is the one. And next one, yep, this is the very important. So here set workflow. Set workflow is nothing but, set workflow is a boolean which is a true or false. Whenever if you are updating a script, if you are updating a record from the backend, that means either should be a background script or it should be a fixed script. So if you want to If you don't want to update the business rules, script engine, or audit or email notification, at that time we can give as a set workflow as a false. If you give as a true, what are the business rules on that condition and engines and email notification, if you have any other script, will be automatically executed. If you don't want to execute those type of things, at the time what we will do is we can use set workflow as a false. Next one, update. Update is nothing but what was the record save changes. So it will be, it will be inserted into the insert, it will be updated in the database. The reason why we are using the update, so to audit the table, to audit the table is nothing but what are the changes we have done, as all are everything will be tracked in the one. So this is the very few methods. We have some more. Till now I hope we clear or any confusion. I will share the, very good. I will share the document later. So just after this class, I can share you the document. No worries. I believe I already shared it, right? That's okay. If not, I can share you again. And next one, what we will do is valid. Is valid is nothing but if you want to check whether the record is valid or not, so that we can check for the one. See action aborted. Action aborted. See checks if see the current database action is to be aborted. That means if you want to stop the record inserted to the database or update to the database, we can use action aborted. Next one, is valid. Is valid is nothing but if the returns if true if the current table is exist. That means if you want to check whether any table is exist, we can use the is valid. And is valid string, is valid is used to check for the table, and is valid field is used to returns if the field name existing in the database. And the next one, is valid record is nothing but it will check whether the record is existing in the system or not. So that's a basic thing. And now the next thing is order by. Order by is nothing but order by is nothing but what are the filter conditions which we have, those are all will be done by the order by. Order by is nothing but, for example, see order by 500 by default it will be field name ascending order. If you give order by DESC, it will be the field name descending order UVC. This is the most important question, and interview may ask how do you order by the system in that one. So how do you check the how do you check the order? Sorry, what can I say? So order wise in the system by using GlideRecord. So at the time where we have to do answer this one, like order by field name, order by field, if you give order by, it will give the field name, so it will ascending order, and if you give order by and the DESC, it will go to the descending order. So this is the most one of the most common asked interview question. So now operators. So what are the operators? Operators is nothing but if you give equal to is number numeric values whether it is equal to it, and if it is not equal to, if the value we have given the non what you call not equal to, and it's greater than operator, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, and and in is nothing but if you want to So set a value in that value is existing in in or not in. Not in is nothing but not a set a value of this one, and starts with or ends with, contains if any value is contains, doesn't contain it doesn't have, and instance of is nothing but record class is a var for a subclass of the var. That means the record class is a var contains something xyz value or a subclass of all. For example, if val is nothing but what are the we have entered the input value. That's one. And here add active query. These are all we have the methods for each and every thing one. Next one, see, we have already few sample scripts. Maybe you guys can read and check it later. Okay. So these are all each and every one we have a sample script. So you guys can read or something later. So I hope till now you clear it. Glide record cheat sheet. How we can use this one. So no 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 after this call today I can share you. Not a problem. So you guys can practice all this stuff. This is the very important useful. Next one, glide aggregate. So glide record. What happened? Glide record is a method which can be used to call a table in the system. So similarly, we have another method called glide aggregate. Glide aggregate is easy to run a database aggregation. That means if you want to perform the aggregation functions like count, sum, mini, max, average, those are all we can use the glide aggregate. So this one, and these are the different methods. So glide aggregate is used to first one add aggregate adds an aggregate to the function to the field. So that means what are the field name we want to make a aggregate. Next, add query is used to we already know it, either that how we can filter the add query is used to filter the records for a one. And next one, add trend is nothing but it will use it to trend for the field name. So if you have the time interval, like in the reporting we have seen, right, time interval, so that the also same thing, year, quarter, date, week, day of the week, hour, value, and the. And next one, get aggregate is nothing but it's returns the value of aggregate function for the field name. So that means what happened is what are the returns the value of the aggregate. That means what are the aggregate value. That means the minimum, what is the function we have defined, whether it should be a minimum or a max or a count or a sum something, it will go for a single. And next one is a group by. Group by is nothing but if you want to, in the report we have seen, right, what are the options which will be group by, if you want to go for the group by. So if you want to write in the script where we can use the method called group by in the system. That is the one thing. And next one is the order by aggregate. Order by aggregate is nothing but here what happened is if you want to perform aggregate the orders the value required by, like we have seen, right, whether it should be aggregate by first name or last name, which is in ascending order, descending order, like all those scenarios where we can configure so that it will be the same here. So here what it will happen is so here that's a order by will be done. And if you want to see few things, so we have here a few examples for it. Aggregate. See, I'm sorry. See, this is the glide aggregate function. So here in the CMDB, what happened? It will go for this one, and what are the glide aggregate and sum. It will configure to sums the every of one and group by. If you give the class name, it will go for the group by, and glide aggregate is used to sum and cost, and query which will filter, and display value it will display the one, and it will aggregate, so it will go for this one. If you see the output, this is the output. So if you go to the add trend, it will the add trend. So this is the basic thing where we can configure all the stuff. So if you want, this is the document. I think we checked it. I think so. If you want to, we can refer the ServiceNow official website for this product one. So I don't think this will not go for the Madrid. Oh my god. So maybe if you have any, we can use the. This is the ServiceNow official. So that what happened, we can write the same thing here. This is the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this link in the chat window so that you guys can refer later. You guys can learn this one. So this is the basic thing, and here we have given a few examples, and see, you guys can practice. These are all examples for the same thing. Okay. From that we have, from that what we have given examples. So which is also given by the ServiceNow team, so that you can write the all the things. So this one, okay, you guys can practice all this stuff, and maybe we can get the later. Okay. So any questions till now? What you discussed? Okay, very good. I will share this document. So you guys can prepare, and we can meet you on next class on tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Thank you all. Bye. Thank you. Bye.